Thanks for joining us this week. I know you're going to love this conversation that I'm sharing with you today with Nisreen Mama Foda, who through her company, Holistic Life Solutions, she supports her clients as a hypnotist and as a Reiki master teacher. We explore what Reiki is, how she supports her clients, but how she helps people help themselves and their families, and her vision of having a healer in every home. I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation. So glad to have you with us. Living in a stressful world doesn't mean you have to give up on happiness. Instead, you can shift your perspective of stress and discover how to live your life in flow. Welcome to Happified. I'm your host, Susi. Join me for inspiration and interviews with folks who are shining their light in the world in the areas of positive mindset, health, and wellness. I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome back. I am so happy to have you with us today for what I know is going to be a marvelous conversation with my guest, Nisreen Mama Foda. Nisreen is a certified hypnotist with specialized training in past life regression and advanced SP hypnosis, through which connection to the superconscious is established for better and faster results. Nisreen is also a Reiki master teacher with a dream to see a Reiki practitioner in every household so that everyone can help themselves and their loved ones. Being a student of psychology, Nisreen has always been intrigued by the working of the subconscious mind, which led her to train as a hypnotist. Hypnosis led her to meditations, which furthered her spiritual path. When her experience with energy healing helped her where others had not, her logical mind sought the answers to understand how energy affects our body and can facilitate healing. When the science clicked, she trained to become a Reiki master teacher. Nisreen started her own business, Holistic Life Solutions, in 2012 to share these holistic wellness techniques, which give back our bodies the ability to heal themselves. And since then has also shared her message as a writer and speaker online and on television. And we will get into further in the conversation how you can connect with Nisreen if you'd like to learn more, explore, and become that healer in every home. That is her vision, and it certainly is an inspiring picture for me as well. Nisreen, I'm so happy to have you with me today. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. I think I am feeling honored to be here.
Well, we have had the good luck to be connected and the opportunity to get to know each other a little bit better over this last year, thanks to the wonders of Zoom and technology, since you are in Eastern Canada, in Ontario, and I am in Southern California, and yet we get to transcend the miles. So I'm really grateful to bring this conversation to the program because I am also a Reiki master practitioner. I'm not a teacher. I had kind of an abridged level 3 program. And the study and the experience of that has really opened up my perspective and understanding in ways and has continued to evolve over time. And so I love to bring this conversation to our audience because not everyone is acquainted with Reiki or even with different modalities or the scope of energy healing. And so since from your experience coming from a corporate career and then making a change in direction and starting this as your business and primary focus, I'd love to hear a little bit more about it, how it unfolded for you.
Wow, that is a whole lot.
But good thing we have some time.
Yeah. Well, I was always interested in the subconscious mind and actually wanted to become a psychologist, but path led me in different ways. And I ended up working in accounting, which is like, I don't even have any degree in accounting. I don't know how I landed up there. But anyways, I was in the corporate world doing that. And while I was in that, I had my passion of learning about the subconscious mind and etc. So I started studying hypnosis and doing a whole course while I was still doing my 9 to 5 job. I don't even know if I had to do it again, how would I do it? Because it was like crash, working Monday to Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I had my classes full days for hypnosis. And that was like over a period of 2, 3 months. It was like condensed, and lo and behold, I was a hypnotist. And then, of course, I kept adding tools to my toolbox, trained with past life and other stuff. So, yeah, that was there. And then while I was doing all that, I was also still at corporate, and I really enjoyed working with the mind, the meditation. And I know in our corporate setting, there were sometimes certain ladies, mostly in our department were more ladies. So some of them were going through menopause and stuff, and they would be fretting and fuming with hot flashes, and I would go and just help them with a bit of visualization techniques, and they would feel much calmer and not having those, feeling a cool breeze where there was none. But it helped them. So I said, that is good, this is fun. So I started actually working with the HR and running a meditation group once a week for the whole company in the auditorium. It was a huge company. So and the sales department, some men from sales department actually approached me later and said they actually scheduled their difficult sales calls right after the meditation because they got better results. So because they weren't as worked up, when they were on the calls, I said, that's a win-win. So once all that was going on, I was working with a newspaper agency, a newspaper company, which covers the whole of Ontario. And as happens, newspaper was like, everything's going digital. So nobody is really holding the paper, and that industry was not doing that well. And they were flipping stuff to, cost cutting, et cetera, at that time. And they were offering packages to people who were close to retirement age. And I had a passion for wanting to start my own business because I realized with my 9 to 5, only friends and family knew what I was doing. There wasn't much opportunity to network and let the word out because I didn't have that much time, right? I'm working 9 to 5, only evenings are available, and my kids were younger. So I just didn't have enough time to do both. And I really wanted to do this because it was close to my heart. So I looked at this and I said, I want that package because that means a few months of money still coming in while I set up my business, right? But how do I get that package? Because I was nowhere close to a retirement age. So that wasn't valid for me. It would be for others, right? So I actually went to my boss and asked her, like, if that was a possibility. And the first thing she told me is, go back to your desk and I'll pretend you never said this to me. Because like she like I really valued her and she valued me too. And she just like, I was not entitled to that package, right? So, and I was scared that if I tell her, then I am kind of telling her that I don't want to be here, right? But anyway, it worked out. And eventually she said, I will put your case forward and we'll see what happens, but don't tell anyone anything yet. I said, fine. And they actually accepted it eventually. And they gave me the package, which started me on my own journey of starting holistic life solutions and, just doing what I love doing. So this is no longer work for me. It is fun. I really enjoy my work because I see the transformation in people, and that gives me the high. Who the heck needs drugs? It just like, if even one person I helps, like say in a whole week, that whole week I'm on a high. Well, that used to be back then when my clients were just, by word of mouth. So it was maybe one client a week or one client in 2 weeks, right? It wasn't that often then, but it helped me so much. And it made me feel that this is what I want to do. This is what it makes me feel that, I am giving back something and of value to the other person, right? And it's changing their lives. I mean, it's just an awesome feeling you cannot describe in words.
Especially
so that is the story.
when you have that opportunity to work with people over time and really see transformation and shift begin to happen as they unfold and open
and
up.
it's funny, like when they come, especially for hypnosis, when they come and they have that first session, because they feel sometimes those people who come with stress, they come in, their shoulders are stooped, they are feeling down. After a session, when they leave, they don't even notice the difference. But when I look at them leaving, their shoulders are back up, they have a smile on their face, they feel and look relaxed, right? And I say, like if one session can do this, when they're taking the whole program, imagine the difference it's going to make.
Yes, right? Truly.
And it's a very good feeling.
And so what do your clients who come to you for that kind of support, for hypnosis specifically, what kind of support are they seeking, or issues do they tend to have that they hope that you can help them resolve?
Okay, there are, like, it's a wide range, right? A lot of people come for the basic stuff like weight management. Mostly it is reduction, but there will be an odd person who actually wants to gain weight. But so it's weight management. Some are there for confidence building. A lot of male clients that come in is when they are having a transitioning between jobs, and then they suddenly feel they lack confidence, which they always had before. So for those kind of things, for smoking cessation, a lot of times it's just plain binge eating, because some people that have come, they are really good at weight management, they are very good in their exercises, they have a very good body, right? But they sometimes binge eat so much that they kind of feel bad about themselves then. So some come for those kind of things. Some come basically because they want to do an exercise regimen, but they fall off the bandwagon all the time, self-sabotaging. So they want to stop that self-sabotage. They come for that. And some come for, like, say, in today's day and world, we all have this, we are on video, we are on Zoom calls, as well as you have to, like, when you have running your business, you're supposed to do video lives and stuff like that. And some people have a major inhibition towards that. And they come for that, to remove that inhibition and not be so self-judgmental and critique how they look on the camera and those kind of things. Because I know I had that. I definitely had that when I started, and I used my own techniques on myself to get over it. And that's how I help others too. So there's a wide range of stuff. Some things are really small, some things are way deeper. People who come for weight management, like especially weight reduction, when you start working on that, you just would feel, oh, I can get them to stop eating that. But it's not as simple as that. The reasons for why they have put on weight sometimes are way deeper, and there's a lot other things that needs to be resolved than just getting them to, not eat the desserts and stuff. It's not as simple as that. So it does sometimes require way more digging.
And I think that's a really powerful point. First of all, I really appreciate that you're recognizing and that people are seeking solutions for the struggles that we have feeling comfortable and confident in their bodies, in the way we present ourselves professionally, especially now that we are in this Zoom culture that, even without restrictions, so many people are embracing the work from home model that it will to a great point. and for accessibility for people with limited capabilities and mobility. It's a game changer for them as well. So Zoom is here to stay, whether we want it to be
I
or
love
not.
Zoom. I love technology. Sometimes, yes, you have to fight it, but hey, it has been a plus for us.
Yes,
And look at
exactly.
that. Without that, I wouldn't be able to reach so many people.
Right,
Right?
right. Just a few years ago, could this even have been something that you imagined, that you would be extending your reach and ability to support people to this level? I find it very exciting too. So
I
I'm
think
glad
it's
that you're
helping me
leaning
get
into
closer and
this.
closer to my dream.
Yes, yes. And so, and I want to go back to, because we could go any number of different directions. So before we go too far afield, to your point that sometimes we think we understand a problem, we oversimplify something like the way that we eat and our habits with food, and think all I need to do is eat less. And so I appreciate that you're highlighting that there are many reasons why our bodies might carry weight in ways that are not what we think are ideal, or what might be that healthy relationship with food or just with health in general. And so I appreciate that through your work, it feels like you're able to kind of help people explore different influences or reasons, foundations, that then they can continue and move on and clear those as well. So in those cases, obviously, having a healthier relationship with food would take some time to move
Mhm.
through. But in general, with those clients, do you find yourself working over a longer period of time and going in different
Yeah, I
directions to
do. I
address?
do because sometimes, like say, to give an example of weight reduction, only people come and they know they self-sabotage themselves and they start eating the wrong stuff. But why do they self-sabotage themselves? Why is it that their subconscious makes them, do that? There is a reason, because subconscious is very protective of us, but the way it sees protection sometimes may be worked up to what you desire, because it could be something stemming from your childhood or from your younger days, and it's just protecting you from that. Is like, say, every time you were not feeling good, if someone like your mother or anybody in the family was giving you a box of chocolates or something to help pacify you, then your subconscious related that to that a box of chocolate makes me feel good, makes me feel that I am wanted and cared for, right? So they associate it with that. And because of that association, they their subconscious is all the time now telling you, no, no, you have to eat these things because that's what makes you feel good. And feeling good from inside is a positive. So you have to feel good. So therefore, you must eat that, right? So now you need to first disassociate the feeling good with the chocolate, right? You have to make them realize you don't need the chocolates to feel good. What else can you feel good? How else can you feel good? So then you have to change that process first before you can get them to stop eating chocolate. Otherwise, they will be in a worse doo-doo, because now they will stop eating chocolate and they will not feel good and they will probably go to something else.
Right,
Right?
right. And I love that you're pointing out here too, in so many aspects, as I see people trying to shift their habits, we get into a very adversarial kind of approach. I have to
Mhm.
change this. And you mentioned, and we're recording this in January, it is the time of committing to new exercise routines and that sort of a thing. And we have trouble maintaining those commitments. And then we tend to be hard on ourselves or lose confidence in our ability to create change and that sort of thing. And so I love that I'm hearing you say those benefits of curiosity and exploring, looking in things that might not seem to be connected, exploring those subconscious reactions or triggers
Yeah.
to make it easier rather than feeling like it's a matter of willpower.
No. If it was, yeah, no, it's not just the willpower. It is much more than that. And it is sometimes multiple of things that are there together, and you have to fix each one of them to get to where you want to go. Because some of the weight reduction issues can also come from stem from some unwanted attention that you had when you were younger. And your subconscious felt, well, if you didn't look as attractive, then you would be safe, right? So it just makes you put on weight so that you stay safe. That's how subconscious thinks, because it's trying to protect you. But now you don't need that protection. You can take care of yourself. You know better, right?
So it's just better, we can do better.
Yeah, it's just each one's story is different. So when you go deeper into the story, you realize that what are the other underlying issues that kind of contribute to the main issue that they came for. And depending on that, sometimes it takes, to answer your previous question, 3 sessions, which is usually the minimum, but it can take to 6 to 9 sessions, depending on how many other things are contributing to it.
Beautiful. And that's really the benefit to working with someone who has your kind of experience and can adapt to work over distance. Now we can do this sort of work online. And so it's easier to help that expand to fit.
So much easier. A lot of people think you can't do the hypnosis online, but you can. I have been doing it and it has worked beautifully. All you need to make sure is for that length of time, nobody disturbs you. Yes. You don't have any loud noises at your end, because I can't control that sitting somewhere else. But apart from that, it is doable totally.
Wonderful. And you also shared, as we were connecting earlier, that people find support. And obviously, I love to find solutions or new perspectives in addressing stress. And we know anxiety is something that more and more people are having issues with, especially over these last few years as things have changed so radically. And so how do you, in your work in hypnosis and as well as Reiki, we haven't even started to get into that yet, how do you see these modalities support people that are having issues with stress and even anxiety?
Well, for starters, for hypnosis, half an hour in hypnosis is equal to 4 hours of deep sleep. So that in itself, you can't substitute one for the other, unfortunately, but that tells you how much relaxation that your mind gets when you are in a hypnosis, right? So just by doing that, you get that relaxation, because all the time you're high strung. And say, for instance, if you were going off to sleep thinking about something that was worrying you or bothering you, now that is going to bother you all through the night while you're asleep. It's working on your mind because that's the last thing you talk about, right? Mm-hmm. So if instead you were using hypnosis or some kind of meditation that was giving positive things to your brain to think about when you went off to sleep, now the whole night, what's going to work on it? The positive relaxation stuff, which your body and your brain needs. You're giving your body that relaxation by lying down. What are you giving your brain? Nothing. And it's all the time working 24/7, whether you're awake or asleep. It needs a break. And if you don't give it a break, what's going to happen? More stress, more anxiety, right? So why not give it a break? Get into a practice of meditation, or maybe have someone maybe set up a periodical hypnosis, maybe just for deep relaxation. But that can help you with your stress, with your anxiety, because you'll get better control over it. Your mind will be fresher for that, and you can think things through properly instead of just being highly strung and worried. And coming to Reiki, same thing. Reiki in itself, when you start practicing Reiki and doing Reiki, it shifts your energy and starts relaxing you. And if you're learning Reiki, one of the principles of Reiki that you kind of utter to yourself every day, which I do, right, is like, just for today, I will not worry. One of them is that, right? So when you repeat that to yourself, even if something happens, you say, just today, I'm not going to worry. And you think about that and you stop yourself, right? And that helps you with your stress, helps you with your anxiety big time. You don't even realize that this short sentence can help you so much.
So true. So true. Absolutely. It's a very powerful
It is. And it's
principle.
so simple.
Yes.
Right?
Non-threatening, just for today.
Yeah.
If I
just
have
for
to tomorrow.
Mhm. Yeah. And if you keep repeating it every day, it doesn't sound overwhelming.
Right.
And
Right.
you feel it's doable. And even if you start worrying a bit, you still have that self-check automatically coming in, right? So yeah, I'm not saying that I never worry. I do worry, but it doesn't kind of overwhelm me anymore.
Exactly. Which I think leads us into that pattern of anxiety. In many
Mhm.
cases, there are
Yes.
always, unfortunately, those situations where chemical imbalances can kind of set us up for
Yes.
being triggered and anxious. But in so many situations, we do tend to adopt the habit or the pattern, and then that can sweep us back up.
Yeah, and I find a lot of these things go hand in hand because yes, when you have those, as you just mentioned, chemical imbalances, you need to get that chemical imbalance, bring it back to the balance by maybe eating the right stuff or maybe having some vitamins, minerals that someone can tell you who's more, nutritionist or someone else who is more well versed in that. So I find it's such a collaborative work that they do their part, I do my part, and together we achieve wonderful results.
Truly. And I'm a big advocate. I love to encourage people to consider themselves the CEO of their own health team. When we
Mhm.
have our traditional medical doctor, and perhaps we find a naturopathic doctor that we resonate with, or someone who practices functional medicine, and we look for practitioners, perhaps acupuncture or chiropractic, and then we can, look at Reiki or other energetic modalities to support us. And then as we know ourselves better, we know where to begin. So we get the
Yeah.
right support for the right issues.
Yeah,
Definitely a
so true.
collaborative effort.
Yeah. I just really feel that we all need to work in collaboration. Like, say, if I broke my bones, I do need to go to the hospital and put my, like, whatever bone I broke, put it in a cast to help me feel better, help it get better and work for me. But while I'm doing that, I can keep giving it Reiki to start the healing process, at a faster rate. So that if there was anything inhibiting it, that is dissipated and the healing happens in the way it should. So I don't block it, right? So, I
Yes.
mean, people don't understand what blockages can happen. And when energetic blockages can happen, an allopathic doctor can do all they can, but it won't bring results because the patient is blocking energetically.
And so this feels like a good time for people who are unfamiliar with Reiki or energetic healing. How do you help people understand what is happening, what we're facilitating, or even, as you mentioned, these energy blockages that can be standing in our way from coming back into balance?
Well, first thing I'll say is like what we were talking about earlier on, before we went on to the podcast, that we can tell people we are energy beings, right? And some don't even understand what that means, right? What that means is like, say, if you, in just layman's view, what are we made up of? Atoms, molecules, correct? And when you break it down, what does each atom have? Electrons and protons and neutron, right? Are they stationary? No way. We learned that in grade school, that you have electrons, protons, they're all revolving around. So when they're revolving around, what they are having the negative, positive charges that they are emitting. Where do you think are those charges going? Right? So, yes, we may be a physical body, but we have energy too that we are emitting, and all those trillions and millions of atoms that we have, each one is emitting energy, right? So, even if we take it in this layman's view, you can say, yeah, there's a lot of energy out there in our human body, right? So, that first explains the energetic body to a certain degree. Secondly, like we used to think only before with the Newtonian laws, survival of the fittest, and just try to explain things through the Newtonian laws. Now we have started understanding the quantum laws, right? And with the quantum laws and quantum physics, a lot of this is explainable. If someone wants to understand things further as to how energy works and how the attention that we give to a particular thing, how it can shift stuff. So I think the experiment is known as the observer effect. Anybody can Google and read up and look on that. That explains it. And how does that happen? And with energy, you are connected to things anywhere in the world because between us, the space that we have, you sitting in California, me sitting in Ontario, it's not an empty space. The atmosphere has got atoms, molecules in them, and there is a field which we call the energy field. And through that, we are able to connect to each other energetically, no matter where you are in the world, right? So in that way, Reiki, being an energy healing, it's again a frequency of energy. You are able to transmit it to anyone in the world because everything is vibration and frequency. So that is how we can explain this energy which we are emitting, we are part of, and with that we connect to the rest of the world. And when we say we connect to the rest of the world, can explain, and that is why people keep saying we are one, because we are all connected, whether we like it or not. We are connected to every other person here, or every other being here. You can say whether living, non-living, you are still connected. You may have this desk that I have, the chair that I'm sitting on, it's an inanimate object, but it still has molecules and atoms in it. It's still emitting some energy, but at a very low level. So everything is vibration. So I explain it in those terms. And then I tend to explain that just like we have the physical body in which our blood flow is going, supplying blood to our organs so that it functions. Well, we have an energy body where the energy is flowing to all the various parts of our body to also give it ability to function. Now, when that is happening, when we go through some setbacks, like maybe some traumatic experience, some negative stuff that we put on, like somebody hurts your feelings or something like that happens, you put negative blockages within that system. And visualize a water hose that you use in your garden. When you are watering your plants, if pebbles get stuck in it, what happens? The water does flow, but it's obstructive. It's not flowing freely and easily. So little pebbles are there, and as more pebbles get stuck, the water flow would become difficult and, maybe trickle through now, right? And when that happens, it affects the rest of the body in the same way. If your energy flow, the negativity that you keep putting on are those pebbles. So what Reiki will do is will go in, it's like, we can think of Reiki as that magical laser gun that goes in and zaps those pebbles. So when you zap the pebbles, what happens is the pebbles disintegrate, and now your energy flow is harmonious again. So what Reiki does is with its frequency, it's just a zapper, zaps off the stuff that is in the way. It cuts through those so that it gives your body back the ability to heal itself, which you're born with. But we keep taking that away, putting on stresses, anxiety, negativity, all of that, and depriving our body to heal itself. So why not give our body that power back? That's what Reiki does. Does that explain your question?
Yes, beautifully. I love that. And I hope that even if there are still questions there, that helps people understand the potential of it.
Mhm.
And also, I appreciate that you point out too, that Reiki lets the body come back into balance, heal itself. We are extraordinary in our abilities, our body's ability to come back to health if we don't have these obstructions, energy blocks, other obstacles, like not having the adequate nutrition or quality sleep. I mean, there are a couple of requirements that our bodies have, and then our body can heal itself, with those tools, with this energy, right? With this open, unobstructed flow of energy that helps to, I mean, it just is. We're batteries in that regard. And I heard you say, and I think that some people have this concept that a Reiki practitioner would be doing something to you, and that is not the case. We are operating as an open channel, allowing universal energy to do its work.
You're simply a conduit.
Yes.
You are not doing anything to you. As I said, you're just zapping the pebbles away. And basically what I say is, it's once you're attuned to any level of Reiki, it's basically what you are getting, I would say, a chip put in you. So now that you are an antenna. So when you are an antenna, you are simply someone who can receive that Reiki frequency and transmit it out, because it is a frequency of energy, which is out there for everyone. But if you are not attuned to it, you are not able to tap into that frequency easily. You may tap into some fraction of it anyways, but not the whole of it. So if you want to tap into that healing frequency of Reiki, the attunement process is what allows you to become that antenna. Like, say, if I wanted to listen to a particular radio station on my radio, don't I have to put the dial of the radio to that frequency? So then now my radio can receive that frequency and transmit it out so I can hear it. Reiki is similar in that it's just a frequency that I need to tap into so that I can receive and transmit. Simple as that.
Beautiful. I love that analogy. And you mentioned too, in terms of supporting your clients and ourselves in terms of stress, Reiki is something that can be shared with another person. Reiki practitioners share Reiki with other people, but as we study Reiki, we can perform Reiki on ourselves and receive that kind of healing and support and clear blockages. So is that something through your training and your support, your work with your students?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. For myself, even now, right? I find that most of us who are into this healing profession, we do it for others, but we a lot of times tend to forget our own selves. We're so busy doing helping others, and then we think like, okay, I know the tools, I can do it later, and that later never comes. So that similar thing happened to me just recently. I have a little, on my toe, a little gout that is forming, and my toe was hurting just before the holidays, and it was hurting fair bit. Every time going up and down the steps, I could feel, when going to bed at night, it would hurt more. And every time I would say I should do Reiki on it. Actually, I help people. It should help. Should do Reiki on it, but I never did it. Eventually, I did. I did Reiki, maybe 10 minutes, 2 days only, and suddenly no pain. Did nothing else, no other treatment whatsoever. Normally I would do something else also, but I just was neglectful. I didn't do anything, only this. And after 3 days, I realized, oh, it did pain yesterday. It's not paining today. My God, this thing works. I surprised myself.
And we do, right? Even as long as we
Yeah.
work with it, we get those lovely surprises. It's so true. It is something that I forget to utilize myself. And now as we're in this new year, it's one of the practices in the mornings. I've had another guest on. I actually talked with Jana Danielson also in my summit recently, and that's where she shared her morning practice of and rituals, she calls them, because they enrich her day. And so these rituals she considers like Lego blocks. And so you might not have the time for the full morning routine, but you can pick and choose what serves you. And self Reiki is
Exactly.
one of those that I've put back on my list. I've brought back to front to
Yes.
bring into my daily practice, because it is something that we can lose track of, just
Yeah.
as any other self-care practice can be, right?
And
We
you
start to
don't
take things for
need,
granted.
yeah, and you may not need the full blown thing. Like you don't have to spend 1 hour doing it. You could just take 5-10 minutes every day and it will do you wonders, right?
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, I'm bringing that back into myself because I'm just doing it anytime. And I'm going like, no, just like after brushing my teeth, if I just spend 5 minutes more and do this, it's going to be so great for me for the whole day through.
Yes.
Right. So yeah. And again, this is self Reiki is something you teach in level 1 Reiki. And of course, when you do level 2, it has a better impact. But yeah, I mean, that's the one of the first things you learn when you learn Reiki, how to give that energy boost or that energy frequency, that healing energy frequency for your own selves. Like, face it, if your cup isn't full, you can't help others, right? So if you want to help your family and friends, you need to make sure you are fine too, so that you can do that, right? And with Reiki, I find like, yes, it's going through you to another person, but just like the analogy of if you have a cup of milk in your hand and you pour the milk out from your cup into another cup, the residue of the milk still remains in the first cup. Similarly, when you're giving Reiki to someone else, Reiki is going through you. So it is giving you positive results within your body as well while you're helping someone else, right? So it's a win-win for both. Why wouldn't you want to do it? Right?
Truly. And share with us a little bit, let our audience know how they can learn more about what you have available with your mission to have a Reiki practitioner in every home, which I hope we see to be the case. We live into that reality.
Yeah, it is a lofty dream, but nevertheless, I know I can get there. But I can't get there alone. What I need is more Reiki practitioners or Reiki masters, teachers who are doing the same. So with that in effect, yes, I am giving Reiki practitioner courses, and my next one starts in March, around March 14th. Basically learn Reiki, help yourselves and help your families. And it's not only just about getting health and wellness. It is also when you are giving yourself Reiki and you are practicing Reiki, you do end up raising your own vibration. And when you raise your vibration, those who understand those kind of things, when you raise your vibration just by your sheer presence, you end up changing vibrations for others who are around you. And your positive vibration hits them and it gradually starts changing that. So you end up changing, the whole area around you to something better. So when you do that, and if there are more of us doing that, imagine what beautiful changes we can bring to our world. So that is a great motivation for me. But yes, it's a lofty one. But for starters, I have to have Reiki practitioners, and I have to have some practitioners who are ready to become master teachers who can then go and do exactly what I am doing. And I help them through. I help them because I've done it. I've done setting up, I've done all of that. And if they need tools to do that, I can help them through that. There are lots of Reiki masters that I know who are now, because of me talking to them like this, to say, okay, I think I'm ready to teach. but I don't know how to begin. They are master teachers, but they haven't taught for so many years, right? How do I even start? I help them through. I can mentor them through to start and do the same path, because I can't reach everyone alone, right? I need more of me to teach and do the same thing. So we can all work together.
Yes.
That is the beauty of it.
It truly is. It truly is. And I got shivers when you were talking about it, because I just know that it's true that, there's a lot we cannot influence or feel ineffective, things that are beyond our control. And when we focus on what is within our control, when we raise our own vibration, when we do what we can to be healthy and balanced, when we learn Reiki so that we can keep ourselves and keep our families healthy, that ripple effect, and then making that exponential with more Reiki master teachers out there in the world to keep that movement growing, is a really powerful opportunity. We need that right now.
Oh, yes. And if anyone just wants to, chat about it, I'm happy to chat with anyone. They can go on my website. It's holisticlifesolutions.ca for Canada. And there you will have places where you can book a time, just click on the button to take you to a Calendly link and book a time where you can have a conversation with me. So it's a convenient time for both you and me, since I put it up on the calendar. So we can do that and just chat, a free consultation for about 30 minutes. So we can chat about what you desire and what works for you. And what I offer is that something that we can work together on, or sometimes people just want to chat and get to know a little bit more about it. I'm open to that as well. So whatever works. I'm just ready to spread the message.
And I'm grateful for the work that you do. Definitely. Is there anything else as we come to a close that you want to leave with our listeners or lead into the new year?
I don't know. I just would say, keep yourselves up into a positive vibration. Feel good about who you are. You are here on this earth for a reason. Nobody's come here for no reason. So there is a big, massive reason why you are here. Don't underestimate that. And hold yourself up high. You are needed. That's all I can say.
That's powerful. That's a powerful way to wrap things up for today. Thank you so much. These are very true words, and I love the heart and the mission in your work and your vision. And I am with you, happy to support this vision of having empowered healers in every home.
Thank you, Susi. I'm so glad that you approached me, and I got the opportunity to bring my message forward. Thank you so much for that.
You're so very welcome. Take good care. I'll see you soon.
See you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in today. Check out the show notes for any links we mentioned. To learn more about living life with less stress and more flow, visit happifiedlife.com. And if you found value in today's episode, make sure you subscribe to catch the next one and leave a review to help fellow pod surfers find Happified. Until next time, keep on shining.